The exoplanet A21268140.
This was the same as Jupiter in layout, except the board was dark blue rather than green. I checked the other side of the board to see the new monster. Instead of Hedorah, it was red. But that couldn't have been right. I haven't seen all the Godzilla movies, but I'm pretty damn sure red wasn't in any of them. Pathos' Map Song was the first new song I heard in the game. Like most of the new songs, it was hard to describe, but I'll try. The background music was terrible, like if someone put all the sounds in NES was capable of making it into a blender and then piecing them back together into a song. I had to turn the volume down because of it. It was like the composer randomly played parts from 5 different songs with the same instruments. I moved Godzilla over to one of the many blue rock icons that had replaced the jungle icons at the start of the level. The level resembled a blue mountain range with a blood-red planet in the sky. But there was something odd about the mountains. They had a shredded paper look to them. I thought at first maybe the glitch had affected them, but it looked far too intentional to be true. I quickly noticed something else about this new level. There were no enemies at all. Not Mogira came speeding towards me and took off quite a bit of health with his tentacle screws. It only took me 2 minutes to kill him without having to worry about a time limit, but the bosses never show up in a scrolling level in the normal game. I was worried as to what other rules the game would break. The sky was the same as the ground, so I had assumed the game was indicating that this level takes place in a cave. The only enemies here were red tribal masks, but as you can see, the little bastards were everywhere. After completing it, I tried to avoid playing through any more of these levels whenever I could. I was headed towards a rematch with Gezora and Mogira. But this time, the sprites and attack patterns were vastly different. Mogira's replacement was a flying machine with a slight resemblance to a red tribal mask. It was a bit like fighting Mothra, only it moved with a lot more grace. This lanky apparition has replaced Gezora, and the new beast was far more of a challenge. It would run and jump at a fast pace, constantly swinging its arms around, making it hard to get close. I defeated them and went to go fight Titanosaurus. But when I started the fight, Titanosaurus was nowhere to be seen, and the game simply went back to the map with the Titanosaurus piece now missing. There was no one left to fight now but Red. The music had stopped, and there was a new icon replacing the base. This icon wasn't there before I beat Biollante. I had a feeling of dread when I saw it. But since it replaced the base, it must be the only way to exit Pathos. I moved Godzilla to the square and started the level. It was a hellish-looking place with no sky and a flickering fire in the background. The fire looked far more advanced than anything I've seen on the NES. There was music in the form of a slow, steady drum sound resembling a heartbeat. All the text on the top of the screen and the life bar were gone. In their place was a single bit of text in the middle of the screen that said, "Walk." My feeling of dread had intensified, but as I stayed inactive on that map screen for a few minutes, my fear was replaced by burning curiosity. What was the rest of the game like? I only had to beat this level with Mothra, and then it was on to the next world. But when I moved Mothra to the red face, the game registered it as me beating the level. I was quite relieved. I tried to prepare myself for the next world.